Oh, baby. You guys, it's Tuesday night again. It's team call tonight. And if you could have seen me making the graphic for tonight's call, I'm going to Amber Miller's page and I'm looking for her picture. And I'm like, oh, I love this woman. I'm so excited. I put her name on there. And then I told my team, oh, you know who's coming. And people were freaking out, low key freaking out because you guys, do you realize the impact that Amber Miller has had on me and on our team, let alone Brenda Martin's team? Here's what you need to know. If Amber Miller had not said yes to Plexus and courageously decided to start sharing, we might not be here today. You guys, I retired my man from the military in 2021 because of Plexus. It has completely changed our complete, like the trajectory of our family's financial future is totally different. I've been changed with all the just the growth and the hardship, the perseverance, the learning, the growth, all the things I have changed because of Plexus. The people on my team, their families that are being blessed by the income, by the friendships. You guys, the friendships, the relationships. It's just really, really wild. And I want you guys to know that Amber is just not your average, like my diamond upline. I don't even know what level I am to her, but I just know that she loves me. That's how she makes you feel when you are around her. You are just loved, and she knows that you are on her team. But it's this, you guys, she is still leading the way for us and for me. I get to watch her in example continue to recruit and continue to duplicate and grow herself. You guys, she's changing before my eyes. I'm like, I didn't think she could get any more amazing, but wow, she is. Okay, that tells me that I can grow more too. I can learn new things too. And so can my team. So, you guys, if you are on her team page, you might be there's some of our team that's on her Rising Diamonds team page. She is faithfully on there. Her team calls are incredible. Her trainings are incredible. I'm so grateful that Plexus Corporate is now like really seeing what she's doing and they're drawing her in to get her help and her input on future
Thank
systems.
you,
Really
too, Alexa.
to have her here tonight with us is a precious, precious time. Allie, did you want to say anything? She's on, look at her on her walking pad, Allie Bashan, before we get
I
started.
know. I have to like stop. I can't like walk and talk or walk and write at all. But if you want to make me co-host Bridget, I can totally do that. So,
Yes, please.
and I just have to say I was super excited to know Amber was going to be on the call. Bridget actually told me last week, so I've been excited since last week about it because Amber is one of my favorite people to follow on social media. And whenever I have somebody new who wants to do the business, I'm like, you have to follow these certain diamonds, right? And Amber is like always at the top of the list because she practices what she preaches. And if you've ever seen her train at corporate or you've ever had her on a call or been on her call, what she's teaching you, you can turn around and see her doing it in action. And I love it. And I just have to say, too, I remember Amber, and I don't know if you'll remember this. And I told Bridget, I'm like, this is probably really cheesy. But when we were in Orlando. It was leaders retreat in Orlando, and you were like by yourself, and I was standing there, and you came up to me and you were like, "Hi, Allie," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Amber knows who I am." Like I was kind of like, "Oh my gosh, she sees little old me," and I just think Amber is amazing. So I'm super excited to get to hear from you tonight.
Well, with that, Amber, take it away. We could just talk a whole half an hour about Amber and she'll be like, okay, gotta go now. Sorry, back to my family.
I'm like, wow, no pressure, but also really humbled by that. So thank you, Allie. Thank you, Bridget. And you know how much I love you and adore you. And I think it's that kindred spirit, that like-mindedness, having those goals and dreams for our family. And so thank you so much. You asked me to share on goals, and I'm going to share that, but just a little bit of my story because I know that there's some fresh faces on here, and I heard Desiree, it's her first Zoom that she's on. I just want to share a little bit of that. So I started Plexus when I was 23 years old. I went diamond at 25. Had no idea that this was going to be the answer to all of our prayers and the things that I was just, asking the Lord for, praying for, hoping for. I was a late bloomer in Plexus. I was not always confident. I struggled so much in my skill set. I almost quit so many times. There was so many times where I said, I don't know if I'm ever going to be good enough. I don't know if I can ever do this. And I love to share that because when I look back on those moments, I can look at my old self and say, she was wrong. Like I was so wrong about my capability, right? I said, I don't think I can do this. And now look at now, a Diamond Emerald account, having grown a massive organization, I was speaking lies and capping myself all the time with those words. And it was because my results were showing me that I was translating as I can't do this. But what my results were showing me was I need to grow in skill set and character development. That's what that was showing me. I need to grow in discipline. I need to grow in consistency. I need to grow in showing up in a different version. I need to change thoughts. Like it was just the results were showing me I still had work to do and I still had patience to apply, right? Not that I couldn't ever be here. So if you happen to maybe be having a bad day, or maybe you had a bad month, or whatever it is, I just want to speak that truth over you that you are fully capable of developing the skills and the character traits and having the patience to 5 years from now not even recognize yourself, right? So don't speak any lies over yourself if that's something that's there tonight. So with that said, I reached Diamond, was able to retire my husband, and we started a family farm and love living that lifestyle. And we milk cows and raise our own meat, and we homeschool 4 kids and just live this very wild, messy life. And I love it. That's why I built this residual income stream, right? And now get to pour into others. So about 2 years ago now, a year and a half so ago, I was facing this thought. I had this thought on me of re-entering with Plexus. So after you hit the top and you reach Diamond, you're able to re-enter under yourself. So I became my own upline, and you can grow to Diamond again, right? And there's several double diamonds. Brenda Martin's double diamond, Eva Schmidt's double diamond. Double households. Sorry, they're double households, husband and wife. But there's multiple actual double diamonds, which is absolutely amazing in this company. So I was facing this. I'm just going to be fully vulnerable and honest. A little bit of complacency in my current business, where friends, this is the beauty of this business is you build up a residual income stream, and then you get this paycheck every single month, and you work a whole lot less for it. The bigger it grows, actually, right, Bridget? Like back when you're trying to build to Diamond, you are putting so much more effort in than you might be getting in return because you are building something. And that's what I like to tell all of my new girls and make sure everybody understands is this is not a transactional business. You're not clocking in, clocking out. You're not getting paid an hour of paycheck for an hour of messaging. And the beauty of that is that once you build this up, then you are getting paid a whole lot more than you are working in the month, right? And that is the goal. So if you're in a spot maybe where you're like, I'm putting in a lot of effort and I'm not seeing the return, I want you to be like, I am so proud of myself for putting in this effort because I am building something that is going to give me mass return with a lot less effort in the future. That's the beauty of this. And so I was reaching this spot where I was still, I've been with Plexus for 12 years, and I have never had a year where my paycheck has been lower than the previous year. So I've had this thing so I wasn't, it wasn't a lack of income. It wasn't a lack of points, but I was just kind of riding it, right? Riding the wave. And I felt this burden of this honor, this responsibility of our family has been given such a great gift. What am I going to do with it? Like, am I going to just continue to live this good, happy life ourselves, or take this and multiply it more? Because I do believe that the business of Plexus is a gift in that it frees people right? From the handcuff of a job, from the handcuff of wanting to pursue other passions or spend more time. That's the only thing that we have of intricate value in life is time and relationships, right? And I believe that Plexus, building that income, gives that back to families and home. And I wanted to be a catalyst for more of that. Take this gift and produce more of that. So when I looked at re-entering with Plexus, I thought, okay, if I re-enter, I want to do this with intense strategy. I want to re-enter and have a game plan of what I want to create here. And what I wanted to do is to build up other leaders underneath me. I didn't want to be my first time going to Diamond, my first time going any rank. I was point chasing, order chasing, right? Just trying to sign the 3 a month or the 6 a month or the sign 8 for the cash bonus, like very focused on the month to month versus the long term. Okay, what 2 years from now, where do I want to be at? And what do I want to have in my organization? So when it came to building the second time, I wanted to have that strong clarity. Why am I doing this? What is it for? And that intense clarity allowed me to build so strategically and to focus on creating a lot of goals, which I'm going to talk about tonight. So the year before, I had, this is we're going to be totally vulnerable, right? The year and a half before, I had one new level, one reach gold, only one new gold in the entire year plus. This last year, I had 8 level 1 golds, 2 senior golds, and a ruby. Okay, so that's the shift of the absolute clarity and passion with what I was doing. I was looking through some of my old notebooks, and there's whole pages where the entire page just says 100% clarity, because I was constantly reminding myself, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And that's where action was taking place out of, right? So I want to ask you tonight, wherever you are in your business, do you have 100% clarity on what you are trying to achieve and how you are achieving it? So for me, it looked like I wanted to develop golds under golds. This was my thought strategy at the time. I want to bring in women, help them go gold, but with a gold under them as soon as possible. Because I've seen it, and I do have some of my 8 golds have had this happen, to where we focus so much on the like refer 17 and your fast start gold, instead of building a structure that allows for a more stable residual income for them. And if I could get a gold that comes in with a gold, then I can get someone to ruby, and I can continue to use this strategy to help them hit emerald. Because my goal, friends, is to hit diamond a second time with 3 emeralds. That's my strong goal. I don't want to get there till I have 3 emeralds coming with me. And if I'm going to have 3 emeralds coming with me, they need to have golds upon golds upon golds, leading to rubies, right? So here's how my strategy for developing golds, and that you can totally apply yourself, and that my golds are applying themselves and my senior golds are applying, is first, when they come to me to order or I come to them, it is about earning an income with Plexus. So that's going to look like you posting or putting stories up or talking about the income side of Plexus more, 60% of the time, 40% products, at least more business income side than products, because the amount of layering of exposure and familiarity and that somebody needs to say yes to the income side of Plexus is 10 times more than it is product. Product is an easier yes. It'll come faster, right? The yes to I want to earn an income, you got to work through, think about yourself and what you had to like work through before you said, yeah, teach me how, right? All these belief barriers, all of these uncertainties and misconceptions. So if I got to work through all those things with the person on the other side of the screen, I better be layering that up hardcore. right? So that was the first thing I did. What do I need to be saying to attract the right type of women to myself? And how can I be saying that? And I'll tell you this, it was not an immediate response. I remember putting up these awesome business stories I thought were awesome. Everyone in Plexus was copying them. Trisha Rieger messaged me. She's like, that was amazing. And I'm like, well, good, because it got 0 responses, and she's like, Amber, you have to honor the 90-day rule. Like, you have to honor. And I was like, what do you mean? The 90-day rule. And it's just that whatever you put out there consistently is going to take at least 90 days to start seeing the fruit of. And we see that in every area of our life. Like, you see that with gardening, you see that with healthy lifestyle changes, you see that with working out. Like, we always say, 4 weeks, there'll be a change in you. 8 weeks, like, you'll be able to see the change. 12 weeks, others will see it, right? There's that thing. So it was this, okay, I need to honor the 90-day rule and do this thing consistently to develop the person on the other side of the screen. And when I say that, I mean, when I'm posting a story, when I'm putting up content, I am thinking about the one person that I'm trying to attract and what might be going on their head, and that one person on the other side of the screen. So when I'm talking, I am talking to them. I'm not talking to the masses. I try to list out thoughts, ideas, fears, hesitancies, emotions, and speak to that thing, to the person on the other side. So I had to continue to do that. And every single week, that was my focus: business, income. And when I say that, it is not money. You'll hardly ever see me put out dollar amounts. If I do, there's usually a specific reason. It was emotion. It was speaking to somebody's desires and whys. Because here's the thing, friends, I had gotten plenty of silvers. I had gotten senior silvers even, but I didn't want to attract people who wanted quick cash, because the $300 for 3, that is just quick, fast cash grab. I wanted to attract people who said, I want to build wealth for my home, or actually more, I want to live differently. I want to have freedom. I want to have stress off my family. That's what I wanted to attract. So I talk more about the emotion. I remember putting up a story of my husband and I just drinking coffee and saying, like, this is why I've built my income, to have moments like these. And every lady on the other side of the screen knows that feeling when they're just sitting there with their spouse drinking coffee, and the relaxation, right? So speak to women like that when you're sharing. So I did that consistently, and I would have people trickle in. And so that was one option. Second is, when they do come to me for the products, because I still post about products, still post about results, or I am going to them, I always ask, hey, and if you enjoy these products, is the income side of Plexus something that interests you? And a lot of women say yes, because they've been watching your stories or they've been seeing you share, and who is not interested in that, right? So it was either, all of the ladies that I work with now, it was either they came to me for the income side, or they were customers first, but very interested and started as customers with the hope to do the business. And that is a whole lot easier than trying to trick somebody into going silver in an accidental business. I have done that a lot, and it's just a different vibe. So, drawing women like that, then what happens with them is, I wrote some notes here. When somebody says they're interested in the business, everyone asks me, like, do you have a video you send them? I'm like, no, I just ask questions. I just say, what draws you to it? Or what makes it something that you would be interested in? I want to hear their heart. I want to hear their interests, right? And they'll tell me, well, I would really love to have my husband home. I would really love, it is no different than the conversation we have about the products. When someone says, hey, I'm interested in Plexus, we go, well, what are your needs, right? So the exact same thing with the business. Hey, I might be interested, or are you interested? Yes, I might be. Well, what would draw you to it? And this is where I'm getting their whys and their goals. And then I hop on a Zoom with them, and I show them from the very beginning, almost everybody, what it looks like to have a residual based business with an organization. So I say this up front, and like I have one girl right now. She just joined me last month, just a couple weeks ago. Um, and she, I showed her the bonuses amount. I said what she could earn. I sent that graphic that we all send. And I said, this is just the quick bonuses. This is just the first fun fast cash that is available, which is awesome. It's totally the holidays. I'm sure your husband's going to love to see that come in. But after these bonuses you hit, then we build an organization, like a structure. Then what I'm going to work with you to do is help you build, and I send visuals of the bubbles, right? Help you build a structure, because in 5 years from now, I want you to be living that life that you just told me about. Right. And I reply, 3 years from now, I want you to be living that, wherever I know that you want to be home with your babies that you're going to have in the future, and I rely back on that. So letting them, that's clarity for them too, friends. Like that is clarity for them too, right? To have a strong visual of understanding what they are trying to, or what they want to build out. So from the very beginning, they're not in a order chasing, point chasing mentality. They understand what is possible to be built here. That's why I have women that take, like I just had probably one of my favorite goals just happen, because her story, she knows nobody, zero network, all of this. But you guys, she told me her why. She was coachable for me to show her what to do. And she came to me at one point, and she's like, I don't have anyone to message. Like there's nobody. And I said, well, this is my favorite lines. This is my favorite line. It sounds like you have some choices to make, because I can be there feeding her ideas. But unless she decides and she has made the choice to go expand her network, she's not going to do it. This is the same with any new goals I've developed, any new business builder I've developed. I've learned it's not the how to do it, it's the why they're doing it. So I said very lovingly, well, it sounds like you have some choices to make. I know you told me you want to build this structure out for X, Y, and Z, your goals. If that is something you still want to do, I want you to come back to me with a list of 5 different ideas of how you can be expanding your network. But if not, if you've changed your viewpoint or decision, I still love you, and I'm here to support you. I am not, it was a completely different positioning, right? She came back, okay, here's my list of ideas. Like, I want to bust out of this. She started doing craft fairs and all this stuff. She just hit gold. Last month, she signed up 8 people herself and had 8 level 2s. Like, this is someone who was stuck, someone who was in the skill and character development stage for several months before she saw the fruit of her work. But only because when I first onboarded her, she understood and had clarity about the bigger vision. So I think that's been a really key thing, is bringing people in with that. So then I ask them their 5-year goals. I get really clear and firm on that. I give them the vision. I don't overwhelm. So I just give them one step at a time. Okay, great. Well, let's get you a few people using the products with you. Here's who can you think of, that might want to use them? And they'll tell me, well, my mom, my this. Okay, great. Here's some testimonies that you can send them. Tell me what they say back. And I'm just very clear from the beginning. I am doing this right here with you. It's you and I together. I own that mentorship role, because that's what they're looking for. So if you are a silver, if you are brand new in this, I want to encourage you that they joined you and you have the ability to show them the next steps. You don't have to have it all figured out. You are inspiring them more than anything else. That is how I got into this business. That's how my mom got into this business. My upline knew nothing. She was just told, get her to an event, get Amber to an event, right? And so she begged me and begged me and begged me and took me to an event. And I got inspired. And so if other people can do it, maybe I can. Like, this sounds incredible. And then I was told the same thing. Just get your mom to an event. Just get your mom to an event. I had no idea. I got my mom to an event. She heard the last 20 minutes of a training and was like, I can do this. I could make this happen. Right. So that I lean more heavily on inspiration in developing golds and golds under golds than anything else. People don't move product, inspired people do. So if I can continue to draw them back to the reason that they want change, that is going to be the greatest tool that I have to help them continue to develop themselves. So yeah, I think I hit all my notes really fast there, Bridget.
I mean,
what else can I expand on here for you?
well, if you guys have any questions, we'll try to get to one or two, maybe down below. I mean, I took notes here. I really took notes here. I'm really interested in the bubbles that you're showing them. Like, how far are you building out those silver gold bubbles? Are you showing them just gold and then having a gold under them?
I mean, I'm literally like, I am making them examples of what their structure looks like. And I have an ugly little PowerPoint that I'm just like, this is how you create this income stream. This is how you make $10,000 a month. This is how you make $20,000 a month. And I show them that because I feel like once you know what is possible, you can't unsee it. So once they realize like what the channel that they are trying to build, so I 100% train them who is going to share with you, who's going to grow with you. I have them talking about the business, teach them to talk about the business, teach them to share their why. I'm glad you brought that up. I teach them to share their why. I tell them to talk about that very clearly. I have screenshotted examples to send them of how other people have done that. So that from the very beginning, they are doing what I am doing, not just products. So that every customer that comes in, they're saying, hey, do you know someone that would want to use these with you? I am really passionate about helping all of my customers use their referral link with a few friends. And they're starting that from the very get-go. So we're training that behavior. So I guess almost more so than training how to get customers, I am more focused on how to encourage and inspire their network to want to join them in building out that income stream. Because that's where it's at, right? Like that is something that is not going to fall apart. It's a stool with multiple legs, not just one level in that regard. So that's what we're always working on and has been really, really fruitful to do that from the very beginning. Do your conversations and coaching take place over the phone, Zoom? I usually do because I am working primarily with strangers, so people I've never met before. And my biggest issue with that is them realizing I'm just a normal human being, that I am nothing that they can't duplicate, right? Because sometimes people get in their head like, oh, she must be. And I know I did. I would see women walk across stage. I would see ladies like Bridget and be like, I don't know if I can't do it because they seem all put together. So I get them on a FaceTime, get them on a Zoom. That face-to-face connection is the most invaluable thing. Like that's so valuable. You can't say anything or send anything that will outdo that. Get them on that Zoom. I'm asking those questions. I'm talking. I'm asking them to share with me. And I tell them, like, it is such an honor that you would tell me these dreams. I consider it such an honor. And it is my goal to help you make that happen. And I'll often ask, how can if I ever see you kind of not showing up like you want to, do you want me to say something to you about that and remind you of these goals? And they always say, this is one thing I find interesting. They're always like, yes, I need somebody that's pushing me. I need somebody that is like on top of it. I need accountability. They're always telling me those things and giving me that permission in the beginning to help encourage that forward. So I do that. And then everything else takes place in a chat. Everything else takes place in a group chat where I lead through inspiration and FOMO. FOMO is a huge tool, fear of missing out, right? Everybody wants to be seen and known and recognized. So we have like a leaders board, just like Plexus does. We're all just post for the month, December leaders board, and I put their face and I put little bubbles of what they've accomplished for level 1s and level 2s duplication. And they will save their own little board, and every time they sign somebody or they have a level 2 or a level 3, they'll mark it on their board and send it back to the chat. And it's so much fun, and we love like celebrating each other and recognizing each other. So we have little, goals and things like that that are always enjoyable, but mainly in the chat. It's a group chat on Instagram, and I reset the chat every single month so that the ones who maybe don't want to be in the chat anymore aren't in the chat, and we have only the people that are choosing. I call it November income earner chat, December income earner chat. And I also have strong chat rules. I am a protector of energy like nobody's business. I'm like a mama hen over that. Yeah, right, Bridget? Because if you don't have energy or you have bad energy, you're a wet blanket on someone else. And this is what I tell my team. And also, I train my golds from the beginning, the ones who I really see stepping in and taking ownership, to be leaders. I'm like, you are my future jewels. And so I talk to them as if that is the case and tell them, like, do you see what's going on in the chat? Do you see how that just happened? Do you see why I came in and said this? And I'm really like building up. You're like, yes, I do that too.
I'm like, hee 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 ha, because we've had conversations like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell my people too in that chat, like, and there are silvers, they're brand newbies, and we have chat guidelines that every word you speak is life or death over yourself or somebody else. And that tomorrow you might get a biz builder. You might have someone that signs up and they're like, I want to build data, and you're feeling great about your business, but you left your dumpy energy on the rest of the people in there that then absorbed it. And then that's not fair. So no sideline dumpiness, no downline dumpiness. Any struggles only go up. And that's because there's life and death in our words, right? We see our kids, life and death in their words. So I'm pretty mama hen about that. even over myself. When I was building to Emerald, I was constantly reminding myself, and for all of you on here, you are in charge of your own energy. I am in charge of my own energy. I don't expect anybody to motivate me. I don't expect anybody to get me out of bed and tell me what to do. That is my job. And keeping my energy high is my responsibility as well. So what does that look like? That looks like daily exercise, moving. I have my girls are going to be jewels. I'm like, hey, I need you moving every day because of what it does for your body, what it does for your brain, what it does for, your creativity. Like, it's in the word too. It's in the Bible too. You got to be working and producing. So that's part of their IPA. It's part of your IPA to move physically. Like, that is controlling your energy. So all of those things. And I ask them, and for you to ask yourself, if you want to be diamond on this call, if that's your goal, how does diamond you show up? How does diamond you talk, dress, eat, act, speak? What are your habits? Because we idealize our future self, right? But we can bring that, if I'm creating those habits now that I know that the double diamond version of me has mastered, I can do those things right now while I'm building out that version of myself, right? So the more that you can, not to be weird, but like step into that, like own that grow your own energy, that I think the more important it is. So that's why I'm up every day, working out, running on my treadmill. It's not at all about what I look like or size or anything. It is because that is the habit of a double diamond that is stewarding a legacy, massive impact business, right? Right, Bridget? Like, it's so for all of yourself, the women here that want to build emeralds and jewels under you, they need you to show up in your life now in a position of that so that you can develop and pour into them, right? And you can do that right now. That's what I love. A newbie on this call, if you have just joined today, we all know we can be like, the diamond version of myself acts like this. She chooses this. She speaks, she prays like this. Like, what is that? And you can start doing that right now. So
And what I'm hearing when you're saying that is I'm hearing a lot of passion and a lot of clarity. And I love that you said that the way you brought in more passion and clarity for yourself is really digging deep and figuring out these two things. I wrote these down. Why am I doing this? What is it for? Right? Who wants more passion and more clarity going forward? And so that our actions will pour from that place. I definitely do. And that's what I see with Amber right now. Complete clarity. I'm like, I want to go where she's going because she can see the way forward. And we have people in our network that need to know that we can see the way forward too, right?
Yes. And I think, and you are responsible to continue to hold that passion will fade if you don't fuel it, right? Any area of our life. So I am responsible to fuel that clarity and passion if I want to keep that up. I used to really not realize that this was more than a one-time thing, right? Like we have to fuel that passion. We can't just go to convention and be all hyped up and we're going to go home and take that home, right? We all know that nosedive. Like, no. So then how do I set up my day, my life, my conversations, my circle, the people I listen to, the people I talk to make it easy to fuel my passion daily, right? What do I put on my wall? I have 3 giant whiteboards right here that I'm constantly like in front of me, clear. I know exactly what I need to do to build out. And if that starts slipping, it's that self-awareness, like, hey, this is on me. It's only slipping because I am not taking that consistent action forward, and I can pick that back up this moment and this day. We do not get paid. I'll leave you, not leave you, but I really want to make sure I'm getting this clear, because I don't want anyone on here thinking that I am like hustling 24/7. Like Amber's over there, like just working 7-8 hours a day. Absolutely not. Because you don't get paid for the amount of work you put in. You get paid from the amount of energy you put in. So I can show up for 1 hour, 2 hours, and I rarely have work time. I'm just going in the middle of the day. I actually think it was a hindrance on me to think I needed work time, because I've realized waiting for that perfect work time and the house to be clean and the dinner to be prepped and the kids to be in a good place, blah, blah. I'll work at 2, that in my own life, that just doesn't happen. And I'll fill it with something else. So what would it look like for me to work during my day in a way that blessed my home and my family and myself and move my business forward? What would need to be true for this to happen? For me, I use voice messages a lot. Like all my prospects, all my new people, they're getting voice messages, because taking the time to text 2 fingers is a whole lot of emotional output, and I do not have the space for that, right? I am banking stories in a moment and putting them up later. Really learning to work in the day, because it's working out of a clear, energetic place. I don't need this perfect 3 hours of perfectness, right? So Bridget, you can't say I'm so bad at voice messages in the chat. Don't you know? You're not allowed to say things like that. You are learning to be great at voice messages.
Go, Bridgie. She sends them to me. So I think I'm good at them. Just send them to other people. Yeah, it's you.
Oh, we're always so hard on ourselves.
That energy thing is so big. My personal testimony from November, you guys, is that I was sick for nearly 2 weeks, really sick. Okay. And I went on a family vacation for 5 days. Do you know this last month, November, was one of my best months in my personal business in months and months and months and months. And I worked way less. But I will tell you this, the energy, the zhuzh I had, the belief, the clarity of what I needed to do and how I was going to show up when I showed up was there. And I'm like, hello, let's continue that into December. So I love that. Find that clarity, that place where you are on, and then you can put that phone down and go back out to your family and do what you got to do. I just love it. I definitely proved that all over again last month.
Yeah. I'll usually I send a voice message and I'm so and then I put my phone down. I'm like dancing back to the kids, it's just, and I use it. Hey, you might have heard some kids in the background. Sorry about that. We're all outside playing, and people just, feel that realness. So even the mistakes, Bridget, other Bridget, that the realness is coming through. The imperfection is what people need to see and need to feel, because if we want them to think they can do it, they need to see that we're not anything special. They need to see the typos in my message, thank goodness, because there's a lot if I ever text, right? So yeah, keeping that energy, keeping that passion, pray for your people. I know, BK, you're huge on this. When I first started the reentry account, it was, and it still is, like, Lord, let me connect with the women that have kingdom focused, that we can break barriers so that they can go take this income and make an impact in heaven and on earth, because that is what we are building out here. That is what I'm passionate about. So when I'm talking to my women, I have pastors' wives, I have missionaries, I have just incredible ladies that want their husbands home with their family. I don't, whatever dollar amount that needs to be for the husband, if he wants to be able to come home and pour into his family and children, like, that is legacy changing. That is more important than a bigger house. That's why I tell people, like, you could double, triple my income right now. We're not changing our lifestyle. I don't want to live any different. I want this pile of laundry that my kids have to come put away, not someone else, because I need the character development. I will have the farm. I'll be milking the cows. I'll be scooping manure because it's the life character development that is fulfilling in that. So when I look at these women and I think about them and I pray about them all the time, I was challenged one time, write down what you're willing to give up if you don't develop those skills and consistency. Like, write down what you're willing to give up if you don't continue on and do what you know you can do. And I wrote down my girls' goals. I'm willing to give up that Lindsay is able to bring her husband home and they can fund their full-time missionary. I'm willing to give up that Jeralise is able to take that trip with her husband and her kids to Disneyland that she's been dreaming of for 5 years. Like, because for my girls to be able to grow themselves, they need someone pouring belief into them, telling them that they can, telling that, re-inspiring them, sending voice messages like, I just want you to know I was praying about you this morning and I'm so proud of you for showing up regardless of the results that you're getting right now. You are growing that. They need that. And so I have to be in that place of so clearly focused on them and what they're developing. So your people right now, your customers right now, see them and what could be their future beyond the triplex that they're ordering. Like, what would it be if she said, yeah, I'm interested in this? What could be for her home? What could be for her family? Right? And that excitement is such strong fuel. I'm getting off on a tangent. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just going to keep asking questions, keep you here all night. Thank you so much for going over, and every single word I know was treasured by each and every one of us. Allie, is there anything you want to add to this wonderful time together?
It just kept getting better and better. It really did. And I have to say too, like, I send voice messages all the time, and I will train my people that I can say so much more in a 2-minute voice message than, like, if I were to type that out, it would be like word vomit, and no one's reading that. No one is reading that, and I can say way more. And people hear Raylan screaming and yelling all the time, but it's real. It's real, and it's very relatable. I took so many notes. Clarity, 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 clarity. That's like what I'm really taking away and like what I want to go reflect on tonight after this. I thought it was so good.
Good. I'm so glad. And you one up it and do a video. I do videos too because I'm working with strangers again that I need to make comfortable. I'll send them videos like, hey, I just wanted to see my face. Or, hey, this is the product I was talking about, and I'll hold up the product. Or, oh, I know that voice message just had cows in it because this is where I am. And I'll like show just as much as you can with that connection piece. But good. I'm so glad. And I really also hope this came across that it is an honor to have this business, and it is something that your income only grows if your impact grows, and that is the most exciting thing here. And you stepping into that disciplined skill growth person unlocks so much for other people that come under you. So it's exciting. Like, I get excited by the 5-year from now me, by the 10-year from now me, so have that vision too.
Thank you so much, Amber. You guys want to unmute yourselves and just all say thank you to her?
Thank you.
Thank you, Amber.
Thank you. This is
Thank you,
awesome.
Thank you,
Amber.
Amber.
Thank you. It's awesome.
My favorite part. We love you, Amber. Thank you so much for every minute of your time, all of the wisdom, all of the love. We can't wait to see you. Some of we're a bunch of us, you guys. There are more of you earning the cruise right at this very moment. We're going to see all of you on the cruise, hug and smooch you, and then in Dallas. Okay, put on your calendar. Love you, friend. Thanks so much. That was amazing. Good night,
All right,
everyone.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.